My name is Ethan Walker, and I was born into a home where love was never divided equally, even though we all lived under the same roof. My parents, Robert Walker and Linda Walker, always treated my younger brother Jason as their priority, giving him everything he needed without hesitation, while I was left to figure out life on my own. Jason went to an expensive private school in New York City, wore branded clothes, attended special tutoring classes, and lived a life filled with comfort and support, while I was constantly told that there was no budget left for me. When I first asked my parents to help with my school expenses, they refused without even looking deeply into my future or my dreams, and that moment changed something inside me forever. I stopped asking after that because I realized begging for fairness inside my own home had no meaning. Instead, I started surviving quietly. After school, while other kids were going home to rest or play, I would secretly travel to wealthy neighborhoods in Brooklyn and offer small cleaning jobs just to earn money. I washed dishes in strangers' kitchens, swept floors in big houses, and cleaned bathrooms that belonged to people who had no idea what I was going through in my life. Every time I cleaned a washroom, I felt a strange pain inside me, like I was erasing my own dignity just to buy a chance at education, but I still continued because I had no other option. Every dollar I earned was carefully saved and spent on second-hand books, notebooks, and exam materials. At home, I never showed any sign of struggle. I would finish household chores, help my parents when needed, and act like everything was normal. But the truth was completely different. Every night, after everyone fell asleep, would quietly open my books under a small dim lamp and study for hours. Sometimes I was so tired that I fell asleep on the pages, and sometimes I woke up with pain in my neck and hands, but I still refused to stop. There were moments when I would come home after long hours of cleaning, injured or emotionally drained, and still sit down to study because I believed education was the only way out of my situation. I still remember one cold evening when I was cleaning a large house in Manhattan. I saw a boy my age inside the house, sitting comfortably with a tutor, laughing while studying, and in that moment I felt something break inside me. I realized how different two lives could be under the same sky, but instead of giving up, that pain became my fuel. Years passed like this, with silent struggle, hidden tears, and endless determination, while Jason continued living a life of privilege without realizing the value of what he had. As time moved forward, Jason's life slowly started changing, but not in a good direction. At first, it was small signs that my parents ignored. He started coming home late, stopped focusing on school, and began spending time with people my parents didn't know. Slowly, those small changes turned into something dangerous. Jason got involved with the wrong crowd in the city, people who encouraged him to escape reality instead of facing it. He started skipping responsibilities, lying more often, and isolating himself from family. Within a short period, he was introduced to harmful substances under peer pressure, and that became the beginning of his downfall. At first, it seemed like he was still in control, but soon his decisions became unpredictable. He began spending money recklessly and hiding things from my parents. In a desperate attempt to get quick cash, Jason secretly sold family valuables, electronics, and even important property-related documents without telling anyone. He believed he could fix everything later, but instead, he created irreversible damage. My parents had no idea what was happening until the consequences started showing up. Legal notices arrived, financial accounts were frozen, and people started demanding answers. The truth came out. Like a storm, Jason had been involved in financial fraud and illegal transactions connected to his actions. Everything collapsed within days. The house we lived in was lost, savings disappeared, and the stability of our family turned into chaos. My parents, who once believed everything was under control, were suddenly left with nothing but regret and fear. Jason was arrested by the police after investigations confirmed his involvement, and the same boy who once lived a privileged life was now sitting in a jail cell facing consequences he never thought would come. My parents were completely broken. For the first time in their lives, they had nowhere to go and no one to depend on. Days later, my phone started ringing non-stop. It was them, calling again and again in desperation, fear, and helplessness. The same son they once ignored was now their only hope. I didn't rush to respond because the emotions inside me were heavy, but when I finally met them, I saw a truth that no words could fully describe. Life had reversed everything. I chose not to let anger control me. Instead, I helped them find shelter and basic stability again. Not because everything was forgiven easily, but because I refused to let pain turn me into the same kind of person that once hurt me. In the end, I realized life is not just about revenge or victory, it is about what kind of person you choose to become after everything breaks. Life is never balanced for everyone, but your response to unfairness decides your future, not the unfairness itself. Some people are given comfort, while others are given struggle, but struggle often builds strength, discipline, and vision that comfort cannot. Education, patience, and silent hard work can change even the most broken situations into success stories. Never let neglect turn into hatred, because hatred destroys the person carrying it more than anyone else. And never let pain convince you that your value is low, because your value is defined by your consistency, not by how others treated you in the beginning. Sometimes the people who are ignored early in life end up becoming the strongest later, but only if they keep moving forward instead of giving up.